Hello and welcome to Future Fit Leadership. I'm your host, Sadna Smiles, and welcome to our Spotlight series where I speak with bold, curious, and forward-thinking leaders about the world of leadership we're stepping into. These conversations are here to challenge, inspire, and remind you that the future of leadership is being shaped right now by leaders like you. Because let's be honest, we are the generation of leaders writing the new rules. Please enjoy my conversations in this Spotlight series. Joining us today is Ashley Fell, who is a social researcher, TEDx speaker, and director of advisory at the internationally recognised McCrindle Research. Hello, Ashley. Welcome to our Spotlight series. How are you today?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Thanks for having me back. It's always a really fun topic to talk about, anything futurist. So I'm really excited to be back.
Well, I'm really interested to hear your opinions on the questions that we have, given the world that you do work in. So we'll start with our first one, which is if you had to describe a future fit leader in just 3 words, and that's the kind of leader we'll need the most in the years ahead, what would they be and why?
I would say curious, adaptable, and human. They're the 3 words. I think in an era of rapidly changing times and from every sort of area of megatrends, from demographic to economic and technological, there's just so much uncertainty and everything's changing. So I think leaders who are curious, who are and pairing that with adaptable in terms of they're happy to explore new ways of doing things. They're not set in their ways. They're open to new generations and younger ways of thinking, but also holding true to what they know, which I guess brings in that human aspect that even though the future is more technological and AI focused, we still need people who can lead other people. So yeah, curious, adaptable, and human are my three
Mm.
words.
I like curious because there's so much change going on at the moment. Putting your head in the sand and waiting for it to be all over is not what's going to work, but the curiosity piece is finding out more is what's going to get us through it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think great leaders always have a posture of humility, and curiosity is so linked to that in terms of you don't know everything, and you're
Mm.
almost your ego or your leadership style is not threatened when something new comes or someone new comes into the team and they know more than you, but you're actually able to leverage that and lead them and position them well to create great change.
The next question is, what's one future shift coming the next few years that you think most leaders are underestimating or not prepared for?
I mean, the generational change is always the big one. I think that it's probably more of that kind of tidal change. It's slow and it's not as fun or exciting as, say, technology, which is in this metaphor maybe more like a wave, which is exciting and new and brings big change. But demographic shifts like generational change is having big impacts. And I think the rise of Generation Alpha, our younger generation born between 2010 and 2024, they are the future employees, consumers, and citizens, and they will bring radically different expectations around technology, transparency, purpose. And so, in the younger aspect, yes, they are 5 and 6, but at the older end, they're 14 and 15. So, they're going to be in our workplaces, in our communities, in a more substantial way, in a more influential way in the next 5 to 10 years. And so I think leaders need to be aware that they're coming, and be prepared to connect with a new generation shaped entirely by the digital age, raised by millennial and Gen Z parents. So that generational change piece, but particularly being ready and aware for Generation Alpha, I think is something really important for leaders to be aware of and getting prepared for now.
I'm really excited to see what they're going to be in the workplace because they'll bring such substantial change and a lot of it will be good. But I've got kids in that age and grandchildren in that age, and I kind of look at them and go, God, we're so not ready for you to be in the workplace.
Exactly. And yeah, I think so many people can connect that to their families, and to think of those younger kids, whether they're children, nieces and nephews, grandchildren, whoever they might be to you in a personal context, to think of them as employees and responsible, sort of engaged workers. Sometimes there's a bit of a shift, but they are coming. And even if you think about them from a family context, you can see the different slang they use and the different values they hold. So it's exciting, but also something that I think can creep up on people quite quickly if they're not aware that a whole new generation is coming through.
Mm. What do you wish more leaders were paying closer attention to?
I think that intergenerational teams aspect is really important. Sometimes we can just think, oh, staff attraction, retention, engagement is something that might not have as big of an impact as people as it does. Our awareness of it, our the impact that it can bring in terms of the different generations working together. I'm sure all of us can think of some of those challenges when you don't get that right. But the opportunity to sort of lead different generations, we're going to have more generations mixing, people are living longer, working later, younger generations coming through. So I think just being aware of those changes happening alongside some of those other big ones around how we work and flexibility and technology, but knowing the people leadership piece, because people are an organization's greatest asset. They're a key responsibility for leaders. So being aware of who you're leading, how they might be different, how they might think differently, I think is something that sometimes gets overlooked, but has incredible impacts.
Mm. What are the possibilities or shifts you see in the future of leadership or work that genuinely excites you, and why?
I do think it is around the potential to truly lead intergenerational teams where we have 4, sometimes 5 generations collaborating, learning from one another, blending experience and innovation. I think there is incredible opportunity if we can get that right. And oftentimes I talk about the movie The Intern as a bit of a held up example of when you get
It's a good
that.
example.
Yeah, the real relationship and the wisdom and the experience and those different perspectives, when you can leverage that, that's, I think, really key to organizational performance, to engagement. So embracing generational diversity, not as a challenge, but as an advantage. I think then workplaces and leadership, therefore, can become more resilient, empathetic, and future ready.
If you could embed one leadership quality into every current and future CEO, something you believe will be essential in the next decade, what would that be and why?
I think, it's a hard one because there's so many important qualities for
Yeah.
leaders today and the future, but I do think it's empathy in an era even of automation, artificial intelligence, rapid change. It's the human leaders, I think, that will lead their generation of the next generation and their companies and themselves into the future. I think leaders who are curious, who listen deeply, who lead with emotional intelligence. I mean, our workplaces are just going to become more diverse in the future from a generation perspective, gender, other aspects of identity. So if you can be a leader that leads with empathy and emotional intelligence, I think that's the skills that we need to create trust and cultures that teams and of people need to thrive in the future. So I would say empathy.
Ashley Fell, thank you again so much for your time. Always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for sharing your insights.
My pleasure as well. Thanks so much for having me.
I hope you're enjoying our conversation. A quick word from our sponsor. Have you ever wondered how to attract, develop, and augment diverse leadership capability in your organization? Well, Future Leadership has a range of leadership solutions, including executive search, interim executives, leadership development programs, coaching, and workforce transformation specialist. They are an Australian-owned B Corp and one of very few globally accredited and connected talent solution firms. They are very proud of their 22-year history, bringing more diverse leadership to Australian decision-making tables. See the link in our show notes to get in touch with them. If you like what you've heard, please share, rate, and review this podcast, and don't forget to share it with anyone who might benefit from hearing it. The producer of Future Fit Leadership is Maritza Barone from Guide Your Light Network. If you would like to reach out to me, please DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm available for speaking at conferences or consulting to your business. Future Fit is created in partnership with Future Leadership, a capability ecosystem for boards and executives. If you'd like to join the community and receive a free takeaway each week, sign up to the Future Exchange app in my show notes. Thank you for having me in your space.